Yo, what's up everyone? Kyrios here, and today we're going to do a should you pull on Frigg before she gets here. I know this video is a little overdue, but we will actually have a full deep dive review of her once we can get our hands on her. I did not have access to the public test builds like a few others, so all I can give you is my experience from the CN once again, and we can just review her. And I think we do need to review her and give you a giant tip in the beginning. So before we get started, hit that like and subscribe. Go check out my Tower of Fantasy playlist, and let's get started. All right, guys, before we get started, I want to hit you with the biggest tip. Big tip! This should be a given, but just in case you guys don't know, whether we get nerfs or buffs or balancing, I think they're all balanced. And Frigg definitely needed to be balanced from some of the gameplay I'm about to show you. So before you pull, do not pull day one. If you're a free-to-play spender and you're looking to make that meta Frost team as you've seen in my meta video before, you know that Frigg is part of that because she is the elite DPS of Frost. Now I know Saki does a lot of damage as well, but you know she's probably going to be balanced coming into global. So until we know that, we don't know. So the one thing I would suggest is just give it a few days. Ideally, you give it 2 weeks, right? So you know what the next banner is. Maybe it's Cobalt, maybe it's Claudia, maybe we do move into 2.0. You should wait until we get the announcement of the next banner. And if you're free to play and you're on the fence about Frigg to make your Frost team, you should wait for content creators like myself or a few others or whales to pull it and put some deep dive reviews up before you spend your nuclei day one. So there's nothing wrong with waiting a couple days. So let's go ahead and review Frigg. Quickly before we get in, I want to flash up this image of Frigg just doing a monstrous amount of damage on 𝙀𝙋𝙋𝘼𝙉. Now, as you can see, she's mainly using that dash attack that did get nerfed, quote unquote, and we'll show that here in a second. But you can see that she's doing an astronomical amount of damage to a level 70 Frigg to a level 70 𝙀𝙀𝙋. To the point that you're almost doing at times close to 1 million damage. It's a little overpowered considering level 70. Now I get it if it was like level 80 and stuff like that and higher levels, but level 70, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. All right, so just quickly going over Frigg real quick, and we'll compare this in just a second. She now has a there's a couple of changes they made to her which are really important. She now has that Frost Resonance, which increases Frost attack by 15% and Frost resistance by 25%. Activate by equipping 2 or more Frost weapons. So this is going to give you an additional buff if you're running like Meryl right now, or Coco, or Meryl or Coco, really. Now, the one thing I do want to point out is that Saki does have Resonance as well. That she has that Ice Resonance. It'll probably be modified back down to 15%. I will be there's either 2 things they're going to do. They're either adding essentially resonance to every limited character, so it gives you diversity in building your teams, or they may be removing resonance from the 2.0 characters, considering there's such a step up from the 1.0 characters. There's 2 different routes. We won't know until we see it, so just keep that in mind that if they do go that second route, you would need Frigg to supply that Frost Resonance to that Saki team and really round out that team. Okay, so Frigg in general just does a monstrous amount of damage. I love her normal attack. I love her aerial discharge. But what she's really known for is that dodge attack. That dodge attack does an astronomical amount of slashes, dealing 143% damage. Now, this was changed from the CN version. You can see that was a very mighty hit. It went from 257 plus 14 down to 143 plus 12. So that's essentially my math is hard, right? That's like a 40% hit in damage. So if you're doing 100,000 initially on that multi-slash, you would be doing 60,000. But 60,000 times all those slashes is still a ton of damage. And remember, all the mobs have been balanced as well. So our the CN levels of HP are not the CN levels of HP are way higher than the global levels of HP. So moving through also some of her skills, she has that skill unleashes a space around the Wanderer. This creates that Frost domain, which synergizes with her passive. It lasts for 30-second cooldown. It creates a frost domain for 25 seconds. The number of dodges you can perform will not be deducted when performing a 𝙀𝙋𝘼𝙉 dodge within the frost domain. So that's what makes her do those slash attacks over and over and over and over and over again. Like, you literally cannot stop yourself. And what I do really like is that while in the frost domain, increases shatter by 25% when using a frost weapon. So that doesn't mean her weapon. This means any other frost weapon. So if you bring Meryl in there, just think about the shield shattering Meryl can do. If you hit the skill on Frigg, swap over to a Meryl, you're instantly shattering some shields, especially if it's an S1 Meryl. Now, her discharge allows her to clear all debuffs. All discharges allow you to do that. Dash forward upon switching to this weapon, temporarily controlling the opponent in the area before unleashing a gigantic slash. This is what makes her really good in PvP. Now, she's good in PvP in general, mainly because, you know, Frost is really good in PvP. But she has a really good discharge for PvP where you can essentially charge the opponent, grab it, and smash. And it's just absolutely amazing. And you launch enemies into the air after that. So this is good in PvE, but it's really good in PvP as well. So they're both really good. Now, the 3-star was nerfed slightly. It went from 25% to 20%. And also the 6-star went from 25% frost attack to 20% frost attack. I should point out that that skill, the frost attack, was removed, but it was added back in that frost resonance, quote unquote. So if it may not matter when Saki gets here, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Other than that, she's actually really good at 0-star. I would say her 1-star is her breakthrough, and anything above that is just going to add more and more damage. Now, should you pull for Frigg? Let's get into that. Should you pull for Frigg? And my honest opinion is, once again, do not pull day one. But if you're building a Frost team, and remember, as a free-to-play, you should really pick one meta team. Yes, I know sometimes the meta might hurt you with like 75% reduction. You can use some of your SSRs to switch in for those weeks, right? And just have a temporary hit. But 75% of the time, you're going to be golden with a meta team. She is the damage dealer of Frost. She is. There's no other damage dealer. Now, Saki can do damage. Once again, Saki can do damage, but we don't know what her modifications are going to look like. And mainly her damage, you need 1-star on her to at least do that additional damage when it deals double damage for circulation and counterattack for 25 seconds after you've activated this 1-star. So, and her 3-star, just look at that, increases 900% ice attack. There's no way that's coming to global. There's no way that's coming to global. I would be shocked. So you guys can reference this video, and if that does come to global, I'll have to eat my own words. So Frigg is the primary DPS because you do Saki and Coco and get that bonus, right? But then, like, if Saki doesn't do the damage that we think she's going to do with the modifications, you guys are going to need Frigg. Now, you could bring in some other DPS temporarily, like 𝙀𝙑𝙋, and you could use an off-center DPS, but then you're not getting that frost resonance to increase damage, and her matrices are actually really good for her as well. Let me just cover those real quick. Her Frigg matrices upon switching to the ice weapon. Now, these get nerfed. These did get nerfed also. I think it went from 15% down to 12%. But when switching from ice weapon to ice weapon, increases ice attack. This is really good. This is really good. You could actually throw this on like your Meryl if you don't want to put it on her, and then if you want her to do more damage, like slap on Crow, slap on Samir, slap on something, right? And you can put this on your other Frost character in order to activate this for you. Should you pull? What's my pull rating for? If you're 100% in Frost, you should pull. But once again, wait for the full review that I'm gonna have in a couple days, or wait for some whales to pull it so we know the exact numbers. I think she's gonna still be pretty litty. I think there's a lot of great characters and a lot of great balancing coming out. I know Claudia is really good and she fits in everywhere if you've seen my meta guide. I know Cobalt is still going to be very good even though she got hit a little bit. But then we have Ruby, we have Saki and stuff like that. So you really need to work towards your meta team. And if you are 100% behind Ice, you really can't go wrong with Frigg. I'll have the full review for you guys in a couple days. I hope this helped a little bit. I don't know if it did. I don't have footage of it. So hit me up in the comments down below if you want me to start doing these pre-review videos before we get to the full review video. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Like and subscribe, and fist bump from me to you.